Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Regis Jerry Does Level Design. With this episode, we have the set design of the Lone Rider level. With this set design, what I wanted to make it look like was post-apocalyptic, but at the same time, more of a desolate, alone feeling where everything's used up already and already gone. The building's in shambles, and also, people had resorted to building wooden shacks. Nothing but trash is left over and nasty barrels. A lot of this is like modular items where, like, this rag was able to, go over these boxes just perfectly, but at the same time, there was a little bit of overhang, but the camera angle doesn't see it anyway, so it works. There was a few pieces that I used from 4 separate tile sets to make this come alive the way that it does. For instance, I needed various types of vehicles. For instance, the plane, the crashed airship up there, and the various types of vehicles that I put on the highway over here. See, like, this is from like the Raiders of the Rust land. So, the car looks a little bit more post-apocalyptic than the fancy red car. However, the vehicles, when all placed together, it would have a more generic feeling than all of one type. And they're all futuristic, so there's no issues there. This was completely redone. I used the concrete blocks in lieu of finding something in the the tile set from after the incident. That was where I got the idea for post-apocalyptic. However, using some of the other pieces, I was really able to make the apocalypse seem more real. Replaced the steps with more of a ramp type of step. And this is really interesting because the intent was for it to be easier than before, but actually, if you hit it going at a high speed, it's much harder because it's almost a guaranteed crash every time if you don't slow down. Replace the white boxing with actual rocks in here, and this is more of a ramp now, so it does slow you down, or at least uh, forces you to slow down. If you hit it going full speed, I haven't quite made it onto the roof yet, but I've tried a couple of times. Give it one more shot here in this video. And then, some minor set design going on inside the actual floors, but only in the areas that you can easily see inside of. Whereas with everything else, it's all kind of blank. And the main set design piece that I enjoyed was being able to make it look like our rider had, made camp for the night inside of an old abandoned shack on top of the roof. And then away we go. All of this was also replaced. The small pillars are now large pillars, and the actual concrete blocks that I had used, well, the actual white box primitive blocks that I had used before, have been replaced with concrete, and they work pretty well. They're roughly the same size as the white boxed items were. However, uh, to get the walls working the way that I had wanted, I did have to like stack them on top of each other and alternate forward and backwards with that, so that we didn't have any Z fighting, which would have looked terrible as you drove past it, because it would have just been like a gray screen. And over here, I was able to make this work nicely to where this is actually a part of a floor that collapsed in and then got caught right here. Anyways, let's get started. So as you can see here, this looks nice and shows immediately as you start. Some of the spots might need some fine tuning. What I did right there is... Go back, I'll show you that again. Now, what I did right here was I actually raised this brick up a bit so that if you were going too fast, your rear wheel would hit and it could catch you, just to help out some players who might be coming in a little bit too hot. See, can't quite make it. However, this ramp here actually ends up messing you up more times than not. However, this jump is now easier to get. As per the usual, I'm going to show you one of each path. Yeah, this is actually now harder to get to. I also ended up replacing some of the... Or actually not replacing, I ended up deleting some of the platforms so it has a more broken up feeling. And then I changed that from 2 platforms over to 3. This might take a couple of tries. Fortunately, this is not the easiest path to get to. So I am going to eventually try to make it, the fastest of the 3 paths. Because there is still some work that needs to be done on this. Oh, come on, you. There we go. You just gotta hit it just right. Yeah, maybe we can turn this into a perfect. And perfect. Anyways, also, I did find some more tornado pieces in one of the effects of a different tile set, and I added it to one of the tornadoes. I ended up removing the meteor shower just because I couldn't get it to change directions, and also I removed most of the tornadoes, but I combined 4 pieces from one tile set into one tornado to make it a kind of giant tornado just right over here. And the plane, which had crashed due to the tornado pulling it down, is there as well. Going forward, I'm going to end up expanding the entire track into here. I finally made the executive decision that I'm going to move the whole track in instead of making a separate track, because I still have a lot of complexity left that I can end up working with. So moving forward, it's going to be moving from 3 paths into 2, and I plan to make it, a kind of winding pathway coming into here. So it should be fun, and I want to make it more difficult than the actual building was, and also, this part was, because right now it's only set for medium, but I want to try to get it up to a more advanced level. If you have any ideas, post it in the comment section below. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like it, hit that subscribe, and you have yourselves a nice day.